Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, blue liquor shields, Nestle, sirs, peasants, vassals, central bankers. I'm a useful idiot. Today I want to talk about currency wars. And I've kind of put this off for a while because there's a lot of information out there about currency wars. Everybody's talking about it. And it's a pretty simple concept. But things got interesting recently because Japan, well, let's just say they put their money where their mouth is. And while everybody else talks, they walk the walk. And Japan has promised to double their monetary supply and get their inflation rate up to 2% within 2 years. Quite a goal. And of course, this is just going on all over the world. And let's look at the basic ideas about currency wars. So basically, we have a competition between governments to devalue their respective currencies, accomplished by printing lots of money. As everybody knows right now, China is printing at breakneck pace. Japan is printing at breakneck pace. The Federal Reserve and Bernanke are printing at breakneck pace. And the ECB, in the ways that they can, are printing money. So, and the UK. The UK is getting, in fact, all the latest developments point to more ramping up. But so anyway, to get back to what currency war is all about. Once again, a competition between governments to devalue their respective currencies, accomplished by printing lots of money. And the idea is to increase exports and decrease imports, thereby creating growth and stimulating the economy. And of course, it's a dumb idea because it just creates more debt and doesn't create any real growth in the economy. There's no jobs. And everybody knows that. Everybody keeps trying. But I'll get to the reason why that is later. But it always backfires. Everything imported into the U.S. costs more, and everything here is cheaper for them over there. And then when you get everybody printing at the same time, it just turns into a clusterfuck, as I want to say on numerous occasions. So, and then you have all the currencies devaluing against real assets, commodities, goods, and services. So everything's going out there and driving prices up. And then you throw in austerity and unemployment and debt, and you just have this continuing spiral. But let me get to the developments that are going on right now. So Japan, of course, as promised, I did a video earlier called Japan is going down a dark path, because with the re-election of Abe and this move to be more fiscally aggressive and then possibly rearm, it's taking Japan in a dark path. And as promised, they appointed the top three positions in the central bank, and they're going to double their monetary supply and inflate 2% in 2 years. And so this is on top of the fact that we have Osborne giving Carney, the new head of the Bank of England, giving him sweeping powers to print as well. And then we have Bernanke at the Fed going into more QE, and there was talk about maybe easing off this summer, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, and no surprise there. And then China's been on overdrive too. In fact, Deputy Governor of China's central bank said China was fully prepared for a currency war. And this is all interesting considering the G20 basically declared there are no currency wars, which is laughable. And so what we have is a QE1, QE2 twist, and that put $4 trillion into the system, and 27% loss in the U.S. dollar over that period since all these QEs. And look at Japan. They've been doing this for 20 years, and more stimulus and more QE, and it doesn't do any good there either. And Europe is finding out the same thing. And so this whole situation, of course, is exacerbated by all the austerity, all the unemployment, and all the debt. And so to have this sort of policy in the midst of everything else that's going on is just inviting catastrophe. And the fact that they're printing all this money and it's not going into anything except for bank vaults to keep a lifeline, more liquidity going in, and then the banks take it out and use it to speculate. And that just drives food and gas prices up, both in the United States and all over the globe. And so the more money that everybody's printing, the more we're going to see that sort of thing, and all these asset prices getting inflated again, commodities, real assets, goods, services, gas, food. And so you have all the players basically kind of denying that there's currency wars, and then occasionally someone will verify that there indeed is. And let's just say that the figures speak for themselves. United Kingdom's money supply is up 90%. Japan's money supply is up 125%. Of course, we don't have any figures for China, and we know the United States is pretty much, the Federal Reserve is pretty much sole buyer for U.S. Treasuries at this point, to a certain degree. Although that's another part of this currency war that's interesting, the fact that China's banks now have access to the U.S. system, and China's central bank is buying treasuries direct, no middleman, no broker. So this batch of currency wars is going to be interesting. And then, of course, we have the movements by the BRICS countries themselves to move away and do some trade with their own currencies. And then there's more threats of protectionism and tariffs coming, and that's when currency wars lead to trade wars. And currency wars always lead to stagnation, inflation, austerity, and financial panic, as well as depressions, wars, and protectionism. So these currency wars are something to watch out for. We have everybody doing it now. Japan just dropped a huge bomb in the middle of this currency war. It'll be interesting to see how everyone reacts. And of course, there could be another financial shock anytime. There could be more wars anytime. And when you have hot wars and currency wars going on at the same time, all bets are off. And the currency wars are nothing new. We've had this before. We had first so-called currency war was just before World War I, and the second currency war was a result of all the debt piled up because of Vietnam and going off the gold standard. And this currency war can be a financial weapon of mass destruction because it distorts all the prices of stocks, hedge fund, gold, oil, options, futures, sovereign wealth funds. Everything is distorted, and everything is at risk. And we can see this spiral out of control. And like I say, in the midst of economic collapse, this is not good timing. And not to mention the fact that savers in the middle class will continue to get crushed as no wealth is generated for them as these programs continue, while the top reaps all the benefits. But the real story about this is just more extend and pretend, and more trying to reinflate all the bubbles. And that's why they want to do this. The currency wars will inflate all these bubbles. And this will go into commodities and real assets and goods and services and energy and food. And of course, when that happens, we've seen it before. There's revolutions. When food prices go up too quickly, especially in hot spots, some places that are already hot. But this is the kind of program that the Federal Reserve likes. This is the kind of program our government likes. This is the kind of program the bankers like. This is the kind of program the corporations like, because all of these asset classes go up and they make a lot of money. And these asset bubbles and commodity bubbles and all the bubbles, including the new one in real estate they're building and the student debt bubble and everything else, it cannot end well because the markets are telling us that all the maladjustments, all the malinvestments, and all of the fraud and corruption, all the debt has to be flushed out, and deflation is telling us that the prices have to go back to what they are without the distortions of these inflationary bubbles. So we have all the central banks putting pressure forward with inflation, while all the markets and everything are telling us that everything needs to deflate. And this is an epic battle, and the tension is mounting. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.